Well, hello there folks, and welcome back to The Whiskey Friend with me, Alan. Today I'm tackling something a wee bit different again, guys. As you know, I've just recently paid a little trip up to the north of Scotland. We visited Balblair, so I managed to pick up at Balblair a sample of the 12, the 15 and the 18. Many of you, if you're regulars to the channel, you probably know I've not done any Balblair on the channel because back in 2019 they rebranded and they changed from vintage statements to age statements. So now we have a core range of the 12, the 15, the 18 and the 25. Unfortunately, I've not been able to pick up a 25, so I'm just going to make do with the 12, the 15 and the 18 today. I think one of the biggest issues that we had through the rebranding is that the price hiked. Prices jumped a little bit. I've just recently looked at the prices in a minute and I don't think they look too bad now in this current climate. I think maybe back then they were a wee bit more pricey, but now I think the 12 is coming in 35 to 40 pounds, which is kind of entry level. So the Balblair 12 is their entry level whiskey. All three whiskies, guys, are bottled at 46% ABV, and they're all non-chill filtered and they're all natural colour. So they're perfect presentation at Balblair. Pretty similar in casks as well. I think the 12 is ex-bourbon cask, and it's also ex-double fired American oak casks. The 15 is ex-bourbon cask, and then it's finished and it's moved into first fill Spanish oak butts. The 18 is also ex-bourbon, and it's finished in Spanish oak butts. Without any further ado, what we're going to do, I've had them covered up, guys, for the last hour or so. Trusty Whiskey Friend down the hatch, Whiskey Battle, batch 3 coins. Yes, they are still available. If you know what to do by now, I'll pop a link into the description. If you want to add to your collection, you want to support the channel, dive in, you can pick up some coins there. So, let's get these coins off. We'll get into this whiskey. Going to start with the 12, guys. Colour wise, natural colour there, pretty light, almost white wine like. It reminds me of it's in that kind of Glencadam, fruity, bright, fresh. It's malty, it's lemony. I think the colour's making me think it's lemon, but it's definitely got that lemony citrus note. It's a little oaky, a little oak note there, but it's definitely fruity. It's very apples and pears, green apple, ripe pears. But that little malty note's there. It's a little bit biscuity, a little bit of digestives. The apples are giving me with the malty note. It's giving me that kind of maybe some sort of apple pie going on. Little honey, little nutmeg. But it's got a lovely sweetness to it. Really bright, fresh, perfect for the summer and entry level whiskey. So colour wise, I'll compare it to the 15. You can see the 15 is much darker. That's got the first fill Spanish oak butts. Wow, this is much more sherry forward, this one. Citrus, orange note, definitely orange notes. Again, I don't know whether it's the colours that looks more lemony and that looks more orangey, but there's definitely an orange note there. This is, again, it's fruity, fruit cocktail, fresh fruit, dried fruit, berry fruit. But again, you know, the apples are there, the honey, and it's gone a little bit darker, as you know, is it? It's a little bit darker now. There's some coffee notes coming in, and it's gone a little bit nutty. So again, very bright, very fresh, just a little bit more sherry forward. And then the 18, colour wise, I think it's a mix of both. It's a little bit darker than the 12, but it's a little bit lighter than the 15. So, but again, this is ex-bourbon, first fill Spanish oak butts. But yeah, again, it's fruity. So they're all pretty much fruity. I think if I remember back in the day, the Balblair always was kind of fruity notes, but apples, pears, sweet vanilla, a little bit of toffee on this one. In fact, with the toffee and the apples, it's a wee bit, it's got a little bit of a kind of sticky toffee apple note going on here. Toffee, it's nutty, some chocolate on the nose. Wow, that apple pie's there as well. That apple pie going on. But this is a little bit of leathery note, a little bit of leather going on. And the thing with this is the nose-wise, I guess they're all fresh and bright and fruity, but this smells like it's a little bit more as if you're smelling a perfume. It's a wee bit more floral, a wee bit flower basket going on. You've had some flowers delivered, and that first whiff comes in. It's very, very floral, very perfumed on the nose. So yeah, all fantastic. Nose-wise, I think the 18 is quite interesting. Lots going on. It's chocolatey, it's nutty, it's fruity, it's apple pie, it's sweet vanilla, sweet toffee. That floral basket's going on. The 15 is much more sherry forward, those dried fruits, dark fruits. But at the same time, it's that fruit cocktail's going on. It's much more fruity. It's berry fruit, maybe raspberry, strawberry, but honey. But then those dark coffee notes, nuttiness comes in towards the end of the nose as you're nosing into it. And then the 12 is just a nice basic kind of entry level, fruity, bright, fresh, summery, malty, lemony. I think if you were a sherry lover, you would probably love the 15. If you just like a nice floral nose, and I think the 18 is probably going to nick it that way. So I'm favouring the sherry one. As you know, I'm a sherry head, so I'm favouring that. But this is really mature, really, really nice and complex on the nose. These are both a wee bit more complex than the 12, which you would expect. So guys, we know it's not all about the noses in the channel, so let's send some good whiskey straight down the hatch. Big thanks to the girls at Balblair for helping me out with the samples. My apologies to them up there because I kept calling them all Pulteney. I'm sure the girl's name was Donna, so my apologies if I'm wrong, Donna, then I'm really, really sorry. But yeah, I kept getting mixed up, and I think she was getting a little bit wound up. But am I going to buy Balblair? I haven't bought a bottle since they changed it from the vintages to the age statements, but I think looking now, these prices look quite competitive. I think 35 to 40 for the 12. The 15 might be a little bit still on the pricey side, 65 to 70. And then the 18 is that kind of 110 to 120. But considering what Talisker have just put out, around about 175 for their 18, I think the Balblair 18 now looks a really good deal. Still a little bit on the pricey side for me. I would like to pay for an 18-year-old whiskey, but if you're a Balblair fan, then you're going to pay it. So, guys, let's dive in. Let's taste them. I'm going to start with a 12. Yeah, again, it's that lovely... It just reminds me so much of Glencadam 10. But, do the hatch, folks. Okay, comes in a little bit hot. 46% ABV lets itself in on. It's a little bit sharp. But it becomes, once you get past a real spicy, nippy, peppery arrival. A little bit fizzy on arrival. A bit sherbety, that lemony. That lemon on the nose is now becoming a bit lemon sherbet. It's a little oaky. It's a little bit sticky. Wow, and as it settles down, those apples and pears come through. It's a little bit more biscuity on the palate than it was on the nose. But lovely honey, lots of sticky honey, lots of sweet vanilla. It's a typical entry level 12-year-old, guys. Let me have one quick sip of it again, just to make sure. Just for research, of course. Yeah, lots of honey, lots of vanilla. It's sweet and sugary. Yeah, really nice. Mouth watering. Got a nice mouth feel as well. Pretty nice. It's got a little bit spicy. A little bit peppery. little bit fizzy. So yeah, wow. I think if you're getting new to whiskey and you want to move to that next level, then this Balblair 12 would be a perfect entry level. It's not going to break your bank. It's going to be a little bit challenging now, going up to the 46% ABV. And there's enough going on, there's enough in there. There's those apples, those pears, that spiciness, that sherbety, that biscuity, malty character. So there's enough going on. Finish wise, it's a little bit malty on the finish. That biscuity, but it comes in with a little bit of nice fruit, some dried fruit. The apples are still there. Maybe a bit of red apple now. And some raisins. So really, and it's a decent finish. It's a kind of medium finish. Let's go to the 15. If you can smell the shed, folks, you can smell that sherry note right away. So the sherry's coming out of this glass beautifully. So it is definitely sherry forward. Wow. Let's send this one down the hatch, folks. Cheers. Okay, that comes in, it doesn't come in quite as hot. Considering they're both 46, it doesn't come in quite as hot as the 12. This is a wee bit more subtle, a wee bit more refined. It's mouth-watering straight off. It's fruity. It's dried fruit. It's lots of apple. Those sherry notes are fantastic. Full-bodied. It's oaky. It's mouth-watering, and it's becoming really juicy. Let's have a second sip. Some chocolate notes. Some spice. Spice is heading towards the finish. Maybe some cinnamon, maybe some nutmeg. Apple pie notes here again. Whether that's, I don't know if that's a characteristic of, I nearly said Old Pulteney, of Balblair. But it's certainly fruity, it's dried fruit, dark fruit. Wow. A little bit of ginger spice in this one. Real nice. Let's try one more. It's definitely next level from the 12. Very subtle, very refined, very sherried. Not quite a sherry bomb. Definitely lets you know the sherry's there. Chocolatey, spicy, a little bit of oak spice. That orange note's there again. That little bit of coffee's there on the heading again to the finish. The coffee's there. But wow. So, we have a winner so far. The 15 is better than the 12. Would you jump to double the money? Is it double the money worth? Still a little bit high at 65 to 70. Okay, let's do the big boy now, the 18. Let's get it on the pallet. Let's send it down the hatch. Responsibly, of course. Still smells lovely, this. But, yeah. Cheers, folks. Okay, again, that's different. It's a little, it's citrus on arrival. Little bit of peppery nip again on the tongue. Little bit dry on arrival, but it doesn't become dry very long. It then becomes really mouth-watering. That citrus now is coming in. I think we've had orange on the 15, lemon on the 12. This is very much like the 12. This is more lemon, citrus. Again, that little bit of fizz there again, a little bit of nippiness. But this is again, it's really mouth-watering. Let's do a second sip. Juicy, fruity, dried fruit, apricots, dried raisins. A little bit of chocolate on here as well. I think there's more chocolate on the nose than there is in the palate. There's a little hint of chocolate in here. This is much more mature than the other two, which you would expect. It's an 18-year-old, but you could tell it's a little bit older. It's creamy vanilla, toffee. Maybe even a little bit on custard. I think it's that lemon thing again, it's reminding me of custard, lemon custard maybe. But the finish on this one again is, this is probably the best finish of the three. It's warm. It's a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, there's a bit more spice, there's a bit more heat on the finish of this. A little bit of leather on the finish. A little bit of Christmas cake. Again, it's got a little bit of dark notes, dark raisins, maybe a little bit of dates. But yeah, finish is nice. A wee bit longer on the finish of the 18. So yeah, fantastic. Let's do one last sip, again for research. Yeah, the 12 is much lighter, much more basic. If you compare these side by side, then the 12 gets blown away by the 18, which again you would expect. Let's do the 15. Such good sherry notes in this. Wow. Oaky, ginger. It's much more sherry, really juicy and really mouth-watering. 18. Wow. Again, really nice. I never ever had an issue with Balblair, guys. The only issue I had was when they rebranded it and the price hike came in. I haven't been back to buy one. Well, I'll tell a lie, I picked up one in the distillery. As you can see on my shoulder here, I picked up the Balblair handfill. Couldn't resist it. 49.5% ABV. So it's the only bottle I bought. So the reason I'm reviewing this is to figure out. Guys, if you're in the comments, dive in, let me know. Did you stop buying Balblair? Have you kept buying Balblair? Are you a Balblair fan? Has the price hike stopped you buying Balblair? Did you prefer the age statements to the vintages? Packaging, I think the packaging was always a little bit better as well. For me, dive into the comments, guys. Let me know what you think. Wow. So, looking back now at the prices, I think the prices I don't think they seem unreasonable anymore for some reason. I think everything else has caught them up. Whether they were just one of the first, the leaders in the price hikes, I imagine. So everyone else has followed suit. The 12 for me is okay at 35 to 40. I think I'd even go as high as paying 45 for it. It's certainly worth it. So if you're new to whiskey and you want to go to that next level and you haven't tried Balblair, Balblair would be a great place to start. The 15 for me still maybe in that 65 to 70 price point, but I think some of the others are catching it up. I think the Glendronach 15 is around about that £60 mark, maybe £65. So it's, I think the prices don't seem too outrageous anymore. The 120 for the Balblair 18. Yes, is it pricey for an 18? Considering that Glendronach 18 now is probably hitting that kind of 120 price point. The Talisker 18 is heading towards 180. Yeah, the prices seem alright now. The whiskey for me seems just as good as Balblair's ever been. I don't think that it's not that changed that much from the vintages. I think the quality of whiskey is still fantastic for me. And maybe now I think, yeah, I might consider looking at Balblair now. Maybe picking up a couple of these. So I probably would give the 12 a miss. But if you're new to whiskey, then yeah, definitely. If you're a seasoned whiskey drinker, then you might consider dropping the 12 and going straight into the 15 or the 18. But I definitely recommend both of these whiskies. Absolutely fantastic. Again, guys, if you've liked the video, you know what to do. Big red button down below. Still, it's completely free. It still doesn't cost you a penny, and you're still helping the channel massively on its way to the magical 6K. If you want to be kept up to what's going on with my channel, you can click the, don't forget the bell, hit the bell, and you'll be updated every time I'm putting out a new video or a new live stream. Big thanks to the Patreons. You're there as ever, guys. Big thank you. Hugs and kisses and all that. You know who you are. If you want to look at Patreon, there's some links into the description. If you want to join the Patreon page, check it out, have a look. It'd be fantastic to have more of you on board. Other than that, I'm Alan. I'm the whiskey friend. And as always, don't forget to send good whiskey straight down the hatch. And the pleasure's in the sharing. So let's finish off this 18. Thank you very much.